And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
All right, flying weather for Monday morning. VFR in the interior, IFR out to the west here, and mostly over the northern Bering Sea, improving down toward the east central Aleutians as well as Bristol Bay. But IFR here still for Kodiak Island and into the Alaska Peninsula. Marginal VFR here up into the Kenai Peninsula, Prince William Sound. Stays VFR for the southeast coast. And for the afternoon, no change for the interior. Still some lower conditions here across the southern areas. But the southwest coast, not too bad, becoming VFR there for Norton Sound. And IFR across portions of St. Lawrence Island may extend all the way down to the Pribilof Islands as well as Makoriak. And out to the west, some IFR, actually way out there west of Kiska Island. And the southeast coast again, VFR. Good conditions continue here for the Panhandle into Tuesday morning, as well as the interior. Good VFR, and still no change down here. Areas of lower conditions, mostly over the mountainous terrain here across southern Alaska into the east side of the Kenai Peninsula. IFR east side of Kodiak Island and along the Alaska Peninsula. IFR up here over the northern and northeast Bering Sea, but staying off the coast for the most part there. But in over Nunivak Island, and some improving conditions here over the southern Bering Sea, just marginal for the Aleutians. And for the afternoon, southeast coast stays VFR right up into most of the North Gulf Coast. Possible marginal VFR there for Prince William Sound, Kenai Peninsula, western Cook Inlet to the Alaska Range, IFR Kodiak Island, on down along the Pacific side of the Alaska Peninsula. And so again, some IFR here now back in along the southwest coast, all the way up to St. Lawrence Island area, but the Bering Strait northward looking really good, VFR. And for the passes, Anatuvik and Adigan, both VFR, another VFR day there for both those Brooks Range passes. And for Lake Clark and Merrill, VFR, marginal VFR it looks like at this point. And for Rainy, VFR. Windy VFR, Isabel VFR, and Mentasta VFR, as well as Tanita VFR. Portage, marginal VFR, especially on the eastern entrance, with Chilcoot and White staying really nice with VFR flying. Freezing levels here about 4,000 feet over the interior here with upper level high pressure in the warm air aloft, even the north slope up to 4,000 feet there. Another area here with the southerly winds, we got 6,000 feet in over the southeast Bering Sea areas. And from there, taking a look at the icing graphic, kind of a big area out here, potential icing. Isolated moderate for the central western Aleutians and possible considerable moderate there for portions of the Yukon Delta up towards St. Lawrence Island, as well as the Alaska Peninsula. Could see some isolated icing here for the Kodiak Island area on up into the southern Kenai Peninsula and Kachemak Bay. Moving on to the jet stream, higher pressure here right through here in the, well, over the interior down into the Gulf of Alaska and the Panhandle. And we've got, with that strong low way out there to the west, we've got a 120 knot jet there blowing from the south-southeast across central Bering Sea, about 105 knots for the eastern Aleutian areas. And the stronger winds over in Canada, staying east of the Panhandle. 9,000 feet, sharper ridge here across the southeast coast, extending over the eastern interior toward the eastern Arctic coast. And a strong wind field right through here, 90 knots across the Alaska Peninsula on up into the northern Bering Sea. And then 80 knots way out here to the west, actually over the west-northwest Bering Sea associated with this low. But for the Aleutians, looking at mostly 55 knot winds there out of the southwest. 3,000 feet. 70 knot winds here right along the southwest coast, Nunivak Island tomorrow up to 75 knots. Southern Alaska Range, 60 knots for the Alaska Peninsula. Much lighter here over the interior under high pressure that extends down across the southeast coast with those centers over there in Canada. Turbulence-wise, with those strong winds, possible severe turbulence, especially for small aircraft here below 4,000 feet for the southwest coast and Nunivak Island, with areas of moderate turbulence covering a big area here, eastern Bering Sea all the way up to possibly Kivalina, southward into Bristol Bay, Kodiak Island, and then with the strong low center out there to the west, look for considerable moderate turbulence Adak and Atka westward, probably to the Komondorskis.